What's up, EV Clan? Alex Espion here, and welcome back to the next episode of the Pokemon Gold Randomizer Nuzlocke. In the last episode, we took down Price, and we made our way to the radio tower, which we are inside of now, and we are fighting Team Rocket off here in order to stop them from doing their radio broadcast that is going to make Pokemon angry or something, I don't know. Ha ha ha! How boring. It was far too easy to take over this place. Come on, keep me amused. Yeah, I mean, considering the only threat to you on this floor seems to be a woman with a Jigglypuff, I am not surprised it was easy to take over this place. Especially when you're sending out a Victory Bell. I feel like in most situations, Victory Bell probably beats Jigglypuff. Maybe there's someone on the other side of the room with like a Machoke or something, and then I'll be like a little bit more surprised that you were able to take down this place easily. But you saying that it was easy to take over the radio tower so far is not very impressive to me. I'm not very impressed by it. It's not like you're showing your power or anything, or saying something that's like a real boast by saying like, oh, it was so easy for us to take over the radio tower. It's like, no, I can see why. Who are you? Someone with more than a Jigglypuff, lady. Someone with more than a Jigglypuff. Also, Henrietta's evolving! Yes! Finally! What is our Pidgeotto, which we've had for so long, going to evolve into? It's Hoppip. It's Hoppip. It's Hoppip. Why is it Hoppip? Why do... huh? Why does everything evolve into Hoppip? Congratulations! Your Henrietta evolved into Hoppip! Dang it! Why does this keep happening? Seriously, what? Our starter evolved into Hoppip earlier. In case you aren't familiar with this series, our starter was a Mareep, and then evolved into a Hoppip, and then evolved into a Totodile, and then evolved into a Gligar, which it is now, obviously, because Gligar doesn't evolve. So yeah, that is the second Pokemon we've had in this playthrough that has evolved into a Hoppip, and coincidentally, that is also the second Pokemon we ever got. Henrietta was the first Pokemon we caught, so our starter and the first Pokemon we caught, our first two Pokemon in this playthrough, have both evolved into Hoppip on separate occasions. Man, that's crazy. What are the odds of that? That's insane. I mean, I get that it's only like 251 Pokemon in this game. That's not nearly as crazy as like in future games where it's like over 1,000 Pokemon. But it's still 251 possible options, you know? I guess 250 because it's a Pidgeotto, it can't evolve into another Pidgeotto, but like... that's 250 things it could evolve into, and it evolved into something we've already seen another Pokemon evolve into. Like, that's crazy. Anyway, you beat me, and I won't forget it. Okay, stay mad. I don't care. We're Team Rocket, the exploiters of Pokemon. We love being evil. Scared? Oh no, they love being evil. I'm terrified. Isn't it so scary when people love being evil? Well, guess what? I love being, kicking your butt. That's what I love being. So, you should be scared, actually. In comes Henrietta, the Hoppip. Oh, gosh. Are we flying type? Is the wing attack still stab? I'm wondering if I should stay in here. What's it gonna do to me, right? Like, I'm a grass type, and I'm potentially a flying type. If I'm a flying type, then I'm even less scared of this Quagsire. It might have, like, a rock move. I feel like, yeah, I'm grass flying. It's kind of funny then that the wing attack is still stab. Let's go for the wing attack. Let's level up this Hoppip as soon as possible, so Henrietta doesn't have to spend too much time being a Hoppip. Yeah, Slam, if that hit, that would have been actually, like, kind of sucky, because, at least if it went for a water move, it would have been not very effective, and if it went for a ground move, then it would have been, we would have been immune, but Slam, we would not have been either way. It would have been neutral, and actually, now that I'm looking at it, my gosh, did that do so much less damage than I thought it would. I thought Slam would potentially one-shot us, but I guess, even though we are a Hoppip, we are a level 36 Hoppip, and that's a level 21 Quagsire. I think it was 21, but, either way, regardless of what it actually was, fact of the matter is, it was much lower level than we were, so, yeah. I guess I shouldn't have been as worried as I was. Ho-Oh is coming in. We're definitely switching out Hoppip, when we're fighting a Ho-Oh. When we're about to be fighting a Ho-Oh, I mean. Wouldn't it be crazy if the Ho-Oh that we encounter, evolves into a Ho-Oh? That freaking... that sentence didn't make any sense. Let me try that again. This time with my brain not evaporating as I speak. Never mind, my brain evaporated. I don't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah. Wouldn't it be funny if our the Ho-Oh that we're gonna catch later, not if it evolved into a Ho-Oh, because that's stupid. Ho-Oh doesn't evolve. Also, it wouldn't it be funny if the Ho-Oh that we're gonna catch later was like randomized into a Ho-Oh? I mean, there's only so many legendaries in this game. Like, it's not that far-fetched. I feel like it could happen. You know, I would not be opposed to our Ho-Oh encounter of like randomizing into a Ho-Oh. I keep trying to say evolving. I keep thinking evolving, and that's not the word. I meant randomizing. Randomizing into a Ho-Oh. Wouldn't it be... I honestly would not be opposed to our Ho-Oh randomizing into a Ho-Oh, because then we have Lugia and Ho-Oh. Can we even catch the Ho-Oh? Have I used the Master Ball? No, we get another Master Ball, right? Obviously, I've used the Master Ball that I had. I used it on Lugia. But that wasn't a Master Ball given to us by the game, I forgot. That was a Master Ball that I just randomly picked up. That wasn't like a trainer giving us a Master Ball, as Master Balls normally are in Pokemon games. Or like a set Master Ball. That's interesting that, like, obviously, field items are randomized in randomizers, right? In most randomizers, at least. You can turn that off if you want to, but, like, I feel like most randomizers randomize field items. And so, like, you would think that in Hoenn, the Master Ball that you get, because in most games, the Master Ball is given to you by someone. In Gen 1, it's given to you by the Silph director for saving him from Team Rocket. In this game, it's given to you by Professor Elm, or maybe it's given to you by someone else in this game, I don't really know. It's given to you at least... It's given to you by Professor Elm, at least in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but as I've said in a previous episode, or maybe it was earlier in this one, I don't really know, there are some differences, certainly, between Heart Gold and Soul Silver and Gold and Silver. Gen 2 Johto and Gen 4 Johto do have some slight differences, so I wouldn't be surprised if in this game you get given the Master Ball by somebody else. And you be given the Master Ball by Professor Elm is just a Sinnoh Johto thing. Not a Sinnoh Johto thing. A Gen 4 Johto thing. Sorry, Sinnoh Johto is just two separate regions. But yeah, in Gen 1 you get given the Master Ball by the Silph guy because you saved him from Giovanni in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and I'm assuming this version of Johto as well. You get given the Master Ball by Professor Elm. In Gen 4, in Sinnoh, you get given the Master Ball by... I honestly do not recall. Which kinda surprises me, because I feel like Sinnoh is like one of my most well-known gens, but I guess I just haven't played through it all the way through that many times, I guess. 2 times. I mean, I had 2 finished playthroughs of Sinnoh. Currently, I'm playing through... Okay, so I beat Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. That was the first time I beat Sinnoh. Obviously, I played Diamond when I was younger, but it was one of those games, as I've talked about it in previous episodes. I have a lot of these games where I said this game sucks and returned it to GameStop within like an hour of buying it, right? So yeah, as a kid, I had not the best judgment when it came to what is a good video game and what is a bad video game, but you know, it happens. Kids aren't always the best judge of quality. In fact, I'd say most of the time, kids are pretty crappy when it comes to judging quality. But anyway, when I remember what I was about to say, I'll say it. But for now, I'm just gonna stall while I talk about how I can't remember the thing I was gonna say, because I can't remember the thing I was gonna say, and I'm gonna stall by saying that while I try to remember the thing I was gonna say. However, by this point, I have not remembered what I was going to say, and it's gotten to the point where I've talked so much about how I have not remembered the thing that I was going to say, to the point where I am running out of ways to say that I don't remember what I was going to say. So now I just kind of have to shut up and think for a second, I think, because I don't think that the talking about how I don't remember what I was saying is helping me remember what I'm saying. I don't think that me talking about how I don't remember what I was saying is helping me remember what I was saying. I think I just need a second of silence to think, so I'm sorry for not commentating for like a second, but I think I need it right now in order to get back on track with what I was talking about. Yeah, so as I was saying, Diamond, I played, it was, like, Pokemon Diamond was an example of one of those games. You think you're a hero? Pokemon Diamond was an example of one of those games where I bought it from GameStop and then immediately returned it, within, like, an hour of buying it, because I said this game is trash. And I think I have talked about why I returned Diamond, to GameStop before. It was not just because of, like, bad judgment quality. In this scenario, like, obviously there were a lot of times where I bought perfectly good games, and then I said, wow, this game is crap, and then returned it to GameStop, immediately, for seemingly no reason, when the game actually was not crap at all. Pokemon Diamond was not one of those times. Pokemon Diamond was one of those times. No, wait. Yeah, Pokemon Diamond was one of those times where I, did return a game, like, for no, wait. No, Pokemon Diamond, Pokemon Diamond was not one of those times where I returned it for no reason, like, just because I thought the game was bad. Obviously, I thought the game was bad. Obviously, I did think the game was bad. I did say, wow, this game sucks, I'm returning it. But it wasn't, like, because I was a bad judge of, not bad judge of quality that time. That was one of the few times where I did not return it and say it sucks just because I was a bad judge of quality. Paper Mario Sticker Star, when I returned that, obviously being another one of those times. That one I returned because I was a good judge of quality, apparently. But anyway, we're not always evil. We just do whatever we like. Yeah, that sounds pretty evil. Anarchy is usually considered evil by a lot of people, actually. I think. I don't know. How do y'all feel about anarchy? Commenters, how do you feel about anarchy? Thoughts? Hey, keep out of our way! That rhymes. But anyway. Yeah. I returned a lot of games for seemingly no reason to GameStop. And said, wow, this sucks. And just returned it. Said, wow, this sucks, I'm returning it. But, Pokemon Diamond and, Paper Mario Sticker Star were not times where that was the case. Both those games actually were not because I had bad judgment. Paper Mario Sticker Star, I returned, because I thought it sucked, yes, but in that case it actually did. It wasn't because I had bad judgment, in fact it was because I had good judgment that I said this sucks and I'm returning it. However, Pokemon Diamond I did not return necessarily because I did not like the game. I said this sucks and I'm returning it, but not because I actually really thought it sucked all that much. I thought it was a good game. There was just an issue I ran into with it that made me think, wow, this specific experience of it sucks, and this specific copy of it sucks, and I want to not see this again for a very long time. Like, there was a actual reason behind that one besides I didn't like it. So yeah, those are two games where, like, it was justified me returning it, I think. Saying it sucked and saying it sucks, I'm gonna return it. Those were two instances of where that was justified, I think. But for two different reasons. And obviously the reason, as I said, the reason I returned Pokemon Diamond is, it is much more detailed a reason than, like, I just thought it sucked because it did, which was the reason for Paper Mario Sticker Star. And I have gone into it, I believe, in other episodes, so if you wanna, in another video, so obviously if you wanna figure out about that, you can track down that video. I don't know which video it is, I'm sorry, I've made quite a few videos at this point. You make over 100 videos, you tend to lose track of which video exactly it was when I had this exact conversation topic that I brought up, but, yeah, it is in one of my videos, I'm sure. I'm sure I've talked about it before, so, go find it, I guess, if you're interested. I'm not going to talk about it again here. Instead, I'm just going to take a very long time to say I'm not going to talk about it. Effectively, taking up the time that I could have used to talk about it, by saying that I'm not going to talk about it for a very long time. Which sounds kind of stupid, but, you know, commentary, right? Unique commentary. Saying new and interesting things, such as how you don't want to say old things. And that's the new and interesting thing. R, I give up! Gave him a pirate voice. I saw R, and I just went full pirate. Our executives are trying to take this place over. They have some big plan. I wonder what that is. I wonder. Frankly, you'd think with how many times I've watched playthroughs of this game, I would know, and that I wonder would be sarcastic, but frankly, I still kinda don't. 3 years ago, Team Rocket was forced to disband. But we're making a comeback here. Well, you weren't necessarily forced to disband. I mean, I guess you were. I don't know. Yeah, again, you weren't really forced to do anything. It's just, Giovanni just kind of said, well, I lost the battle. I guess that means I have to disband Team Rocket. It's like, no, you don't. That's not how that works. You could have just given me prize money, which, in and of itself, is stupid, that every person who loses a battle gives you money. Every person who loses a battle to you gives you money. What's even more stupid, however, is the fact that an entire criminal organization got shut down because the boss of it lost to a 10-year-old, and he said, well, I guess rules are rules that I'm making up this second are... He's like, well, I guess rules that I'm making up this second are rules that I'm making up this second, and since I lost to you, I have to shut down the, I have to shut down my criminal organization, and it's like, I didn't even say you had to do that, you know? Like, it's not even like we made a deal with him, and he's like honoring the deal. It's like, he just decided he had to do that. He just decided that was the lose condition. What would happen if he beat me? Would I have to shut down my criminal organization? Would I have to release all my Pokemon? Stop enslaving these little creatures? Like, technically it's a criminal organization of sorts, just catching Pokemon, you know? Like, you're just enslaving small animals. It's kind of a crime in and of itself. But, anyway. Oh my gosh, I've gone down so many freaking... I've branched off into so many different conversation topics, I'm starting to lose them all. I know that the main thing I want to come back to is how, like, all the games have different, like, things, different people who give you the Master Ball. And, Quan is dying, hold on a second. I know that the thing I want to come back to is how all the games have different... Actually, I should probably heal, not try to switch out, because if I try to switch out, he could go for Pursuit on me. I don't know if Houndoom has Pursuit. It probably does. But I don't know for sure. And I especially don't know at this level, but it's better to be safe than to be sorry. So, we're gonna heal up. Yeah, I know I want to come back to the... Oh, wait. Okay, I want to switch out anyway, so thanks, I guess. Not to this, though. So we're switching back. We're switching back to Juan, actually. So yeah, I know I want to come back to, the idea of every game has its own... has, like, a different person who gives you the Master Ball, but they all... In all games, you're given the Master Ball by a person. You don't usually, like, pick it up, except for Gen 3. But Gen 3 is the odd one out. That's the thing that I want to come back to. However, along the way, with that tangent, I sidebarred down another tangent about the fact that I don't know Gen 4 well enough to the point where I remember how you get the Master Ball in that game. And then from there, I sidebarred into another tangent about how what did I sidebar into? I sidebarred into another tangent about... So I went from the... How I don't know Gen 4 well enough to know what the Master Ball is. Oh yeah, so then I sidebarred into another tangent about how many times I've played Gen 4, and then another tangent, sidebarred from there into another tangent about how many... about how I returned Diamond to GameStop, and then from there I sidebarred into another tangent about my reasons for returning certain games to GameStop, and then I sidebarred from there into another tangent about how, if you want to see that, thing that I've mentioned, then you should go back into a previous video, and I am not going to say it again because I'm too busy saying about how I'm not going to say it again. So at this point we are like 6 or 7 tangents deep, I think. I'm not really counting, but I think it's that amount, and as I say that, I hate myself that I think I said... Well, I hate that I said what I said, but I feel like... Is it worse if I acknowledge it? I'm just not gonna say it. If you know what I said, you know what I said. If you don't know what I said, consider yourself lucky. Gwah! Don't get cute! Anyway. We won't let you ruin our plans for our comeback. So at this point, I am so many tangents deep, I am losing track of a lot of them. But, basically, I think I finished up with the one about... To trainers, Pokemon are their beloved partners. It's terrible how Team Rocket is trying to control Pokemon. See, I think I finished the one up the one about how I am not talking about the Diamond and Pearl, the Pokemon Diamond return thing, and I also finished up the one about the one above that that I went into first about the Pokemon Diamond returning to GameStop thing, and I also finished the one about my returning things to GameStop thing, and so that's 3 tangents down that I've actually finished. So I guess we'll just go back up the ladder of tangents that I've made, because I sidebarred one tangent into another tangent, and I just kept on doing that. Just the daisy chain of tangents that I've made. We're just going back up now. We're just climbing it back up. It feels great ordering Pokemon to commit crimes. That sounds illegal. Anyway, obviously. So, basically, going back up the daisy chain of, where does the phrase daisy chain come from? That's another tangent, let's ignore that for now, especially because I have nothing constructive to add to that. I have the slightest idea, so why would I even bring it up? But anyway, going back up the daisy chain of tangents I've gone on, I've played Gen 4 4 times at this point. I've finished it 2. The first time I played it was obviously the time I got it from GameStop. I got Pokemon Diamond from GameStop, and then I said, wow, this game sucks, I'm returning it, for again a reason that I won't go into here because I've gone into it in a previous episode, I think. If I haven't, then I'm sorry, because then I've just told you to go look for it in a previous episode, and it's not in any previous episode, so now you just have to endure the pain that is looking through all my content and watching it, which is terrible, I'm sure. But, anyway, see, the first time I played Gen 4 was that time with the Pokemon Diamond from GameStop. Then, the second time I played Gen 4 was many years later, when Pokemon Brilliant Diamond came out. You're kidding! No, I'm not. I went from playing Gen 4... I played Pokemon Diamond... I played Gen 4 for the first time. Got not even to the first gym. Then didn't play the Sinnoh game... Then didn't play Sinnoh again until the remakes. Yeah, it is kind of crazy when you think about it that way. But, I feel lousy over losing. Darn it! I hate useless Pokemon! But yeah, the second time I played Gen 4, it was the remakes. And that time I actually beat it, so that was the first time I beat Sinnoh. And then the third time I played Sinnoh was my Pokemon Brilliant... Another Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl playthrough. Actually... so Pokemon Diamond was the first time I played it. I played Sinnoh. Then Pokemon Brilliant Diamond was the second time I played Sinnoh. And then that time I actually beat it. And then the third time I played Sinnoh was, again, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. So as you can see, I like Dialga a lot more than Palkia. Or maybe you don't know that, but I do. Just to be clear, that's what me repeatedly picking Diamond. Even in the case of the remakes, like Pokemon Diamond, then Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, then Pokemon Brilliant Diamond again. Like, obviously you can see I'm not playing Pearl, and one of the big reasons why is just because I like Dialga a lot better, because Dialga's the guardian of time, Palkia is the guardian of space, and like, what does that even mean? Space is freaking everything. Huh? Like, it's like, oh, what exactly is space? You know, like, what is Palkia the guardian of exactly? Because it's like, oh, they're in charge of... Dialga's in charge of time. Is legendary Pokemon in charge of time. Palkia is the legendary Pokemon in charge of space. And I'm like, okay, well, space is everything. It includes everything on Earth. And everything on other planets, too, right? So, like, is Palkia in charge... they're in charge of space? Space is in the sky. What is with Rayquaza and Palkia? What does Rayquaza own? What does Palkia own? Palkia owns if Palkia owns space, if Palkia is in charge of space, then are they in charge of the entirety of Earth? Then what about frickin' Groudon and Kyogre? Do they all bow down to Palkia? Like, what? I don't understand what exactly being the... In this world where there's, like, in this universe, this Pokemon universe, where there's all these, like, Pokemon that are, like, gods of certain things and, like, representatives of certain things, and they control certain things, what does controlling space even mean? Right? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, what does the Guardian of Space even do? What is the god of space, so to speak? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You say, like, Dialga's like the god of time, and you're like, oh, that makes sense. They can, like, reverse time, they can fast-forward time, they can, like, travel to the past, travel to the future, you know, like, time stuff, right? Like, but, like, you control space? What does that mean? That's everything! That's Earth, that's other planets, that's the galaxy, that's the universe. Like, what exactly is space? What exactly does Palkia control? It just is so vague to the point where it's not cool. Dialga controls time, that's awesome. Palkia controls space, I don't know what that means, so it's not cool. An unknown child wandering here? Who are you? So obviously I like Dialga a lot better, and that's why that's one of the reasons why I go for Diamond. But yeah. Third time I played Gen 4, not Gen 4, because it's Gen 8 now. The remakes of Gen 8, obviously. But third time I played Sinnoh was Brilliant Diamond again. It was my water type only run of Brilliant Diamond, which I just recently beat, actually. It was the third one I've started. It was the third run of Gen 4, not Gen 4. It was the third run of Sinnoh that I started, but I actually did start another run of Gen 4 in between starting that one and finishing it. So I only just finished it recently, even though since I started it, I have played Sinnoh in another context. But anyway, so I beat that recently. I don't recall exactly what my team was. Let me see if I can list that off right now. Let me see if I can remember. So, in my Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Water type only run, I just recently beat it. I had... Obviously my starter was Piplup. I'll do Empoleon by the end. Then, like, so my final team was Empoleon, Golduck, Gastrodon, Empoleon, Golduck, Gastrodon, what's Water-type Pokemon in Gen 4? Gyarados. That's not a Gen 4 Pokemon, but you know that's in Gen 4. What is it? What is ending out? Oh my gosh, I forgot. Okay, Granbull. I kind of want to switch out against that, honestly. However, I think that even just switching Henrietta out, I think they get enough XP from this Granbull being killed to level up and then evolve again. Thank goodness, because I don't want Henrietta to stay Hoppip for long. But anyway, I had Empoleon, Golduck, Gastrodon, Gyarados. I'm counting on my fingers now. What's another Water-type Pokemon? Oh my gosh, how am I blanking on two members of my team? I went through a freaking entire playthrough with them. Oh, Buizel. What's the evolved form of Buizel? Floatzel. Floatzel? Is that correct? Buizel evolves into Floatzel, or is it the other way around? I don't know Gen 4 Pokemon really that well. And then... yeah, Floatzel, I think, is the final evolution. Was it Octillery? I don't think it was Octillery. I'm trying to picture, like, the champion screen. What did it look like? What Pokemon did I have? Empoleon, Gastrodon, Golduck, Gyarados, Floatzel. Who's the last one? Who am I missing? I don't know who I'm missing. That's crazy to me. Whatever, I guess I'll just, like, talk about it I'll update you when I remember. But, I mean, I know what my team was for my original playthrough of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I took both the... I'm happy to report I took both the Mew and Jirachi from the old couple and used those on my main team. Because in what other in how many other situations are you going to get to play through a game with a Mew and a Jirachi, right? Like, that's just a one-game opportunity, you know? Like, no other game is going to give you that opportunity. No other playthrough, besides a Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl playthrough, is going to give you that opportunity. Like, there's no way. Like, even a randomizer, the odds of you getting, like, Jirachi and Mew is crazy. Crazy low. So, like, obviously, if I had the opportunity to use a Jirachi and a Mew on my main team in a playthrough, I take that chance. That's just so cool. That's just such an interesting experience that is so hard to come by in Pokemon. To have 2 mythicals on your main team for, like, a vast majority of the game, too. Like, it's not even, like, their late additions, like, you didn't have a full team, full permanent team until, like, late into the game. It's like, you get them pretty early. It's crazy. I took you too lightly. I can transmit as strong a signal as I need from here. Okay. The Team Rocket boss has locked himself in, but the director can open it. He's up on the 5th floor. Please save him. Okay, will do. Pokemon are there? Yeah, okay, I read that dialogue already. And I went past all these guys, so then I just travel up here, I guess. I'm gonna fight this guy before I try to go over to those stairs, because then he's gonna challenge me, and I think it's better for my mental if I challenge him. Then I feel like I'm in control. I've been given strict orders. I'm to crush anyone who challenges Team Rocket. Oh yeah, it was Tentacruel. Tentacruel was the last one. Okay, so my team in the Water-type only run of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl that I did, my final team was Empoleon, Gastrodon, Gastrodon, Gyarados, Floatzel, Empoleon, Gastrodon. It was... Okay, the final team was Empoleon, Gastrodon, Gyarados, Floatzel, Golduck, Tentacruel. There we go. That's it. That took me such a long time. My gosh. I think Tentacruel was, like, the latest edition, so I think it makes sense to me why I would not remember that one. I think I got that one, like, on Victory Road or somewhere close to there. I don't know if you can get a Tentacruel on Victory Road, but it was, like, around the last gym, you know? Like, it was sort of like the water route to Victory Road, I think. Or maybe it was, like, a little bit before that, but it was, like, very late that I got the Tentacruel. Because I was just like, oh, well, we're approaching the end of the game now, and I still don't have a full team, so what can I get? Oh, look, Tentacruel. Okay, that's a water type, sure. It wasn't really like I was looking for something like some of the other ones were. Like, obviously, with Psyduck, I was looking for that. Like, I specifically went looking for a Psyduck. Because I was like, I need to fill a slot on the team. What should I use? Oh, Psyduck would be good. And, like, I'd say the other ones weren't that hard to find. Magikarp's not hard to find. Shellos is not hard to find. So I didn't really... obviously, the starter is just given to you. Buizel's not hard to find. So those ones are just kind of like... I got them. But Psyduck I actually looked for. And then Tentacruel I didn't have any plan of getting, unlike the other ones. Like, the other ones, at least I was, like, planning on getting it. Like, planning on having it on the team. But I didn't really have to hunt for it. And then, like... Psyduck, I wanted it on the team, and I had to, like, look for one. I had to, like, specifically look up on the internet, like, where do I find one? Because I didn't know how to get one. Like, I didn't, like, just run into one, like the other ones. Like, I wanted the other ones. Besides Tentacruel, I wanted all of them. Like, but I wasn't, like, I didn't, like, have to look for any of them. Like, I just sort of, like, ran into them without, like, really trying to, with the other ones. Besides Tentacruel and Psyduck. And then, but like, all of the Pokemon I got on that team, except Tentacruel, I wanted. It's just, Psyduck was the only one I had to look for, you know? Psyduck was the only one of those that I had to look for. But, Tentacruel, I neither really, like, wanted, nor had to look for. I just sort of, like, saw it, and I'm like, oh, I have an extra team slot, sure. You're like, and I didn't not want a Tentacruel, obviously. Like, I saw a Tentacruel and I was, like, happy to see it. I just, like, didn't have it in mind, you know? Like, when I was thinking about, like, doing a Water-type run of Gen 4, I'm like, oh, I'll probably run into, like, a Buizel, I can use that. I'll probably run into, like, a Cello, so I can use that. Obviously, I'll have a Water-type starter. Probably run into, like, a Magikarp at some point along the way, like, pretty early, honestly. You can get them pretty early. And then I was thinking about, like, maybe I was thinking, like, I feel like Psyduck's, like, not something you really run into that often. I feel like there's only a few locations where you can get it, so that one I might have to look into, but I was like, I wanted that one. I was thinking, like, I could get, that was one I could get. That was one I had in mind. So pretty much all of them I had in mind, like, as Pokemon I could get in the, like, in, like, a Sinnoh playthrough. Except Tentacruel. That one, like, I did not want it. Like, I saw it, I'm like, oh, cool, Tentacruel. But, like, it's not one that it's not one that I went into the challenge thinking I was gonna get, you know? It's just kind of like, it was just kind of like a pleasant surprise. Like, oh, I have an open team slot, okay, Tentacruel's cool, sure. I'll take it. That's cool. But yeah, that was the final team, and my gosh, for whatever reason, well, first of all, Garchomp wasn't an issue. I taught my Empoleon freaking Ice Beam. I think it was Empoleon that I taught Ice Beam, and it just absolutely one-shotted the Self-Destruct. Scary. We live, right? We live. It's 23. Level 23. Yeah, fine, we're fine. It's always scary. It's still scary. Even when you're freaking over 10 levels above the thing, it's still scary when something Self-Destructs on you. Nidoking, that is a showdown right there. Nidoking versus Nidoqueen. I don't know if it was a good idea to stay in here. I really don't think it was. Because this thing, does it have a ground type move? Does it have a powerful ground type move? We don't have a powerful ground type move, so I'm gonna assume it doesn't have a powerful ground type move. And just, like, say it can't hit it with anything super effective, and I'm gonna do way more, and I'm gonna be able to tank all its hits because I'm bulky, and, I'm gonna tank whatever, like, I'm gonna be able to tank whatever, like, neutral or not very effective thing it's gonna throw at me, because I'm bulky and I'm way higher level than it, and that seems like a correct assumption to make. Okay, good. Can you imagine if this thing went for Earthquake and just, like, killed my precious Nidoqueen, and I'm like, I would be distraught. I would be actually, like, I would be so sad if I could have played it safe, and then Nidoqueen died because I didn't. I'm like, I'm sure this ground type doesn't have a ground type move that's super effective on me. I'm sure this ground type doesn't have a super effective ground type move on me. Goes for Earthquake, Nina dies. I would have been so disappointed in myself if that happened. Thank goodness that did not happen. Thank goodness I was correct to assume he did not have a ground type move. Or maybe I wasn't. Maybe he did, and he just... The AI was dumb, and I only survived there. And the only reason why Nina didn't die is because of dumb AI. That could be the case too. In which case, thank you God. What? What? Henrietta's evolving. Again! Twice in one episode, I think. Or maybe that was the last episode. They all meshed together. Oh my, what is happening? What is happening? What is happening? What is going on? No, wait. The randomizer is broken. The randomizer is broken. It is broken. This is not how this works. No, this is not... Huh? The randomizer is not working properly. Henrietta evolved into a Hoppip, then a Totodile. A Hoppip, then a Totodile. That is exactly what Juan evolved into. Juan was a Reap, then a Hoppip, then a Totodile. Henrietta was a Pidgeotto, then a Hoppip, then a Totodile. It's evolving into the exact same things that Juan did. I don't know why that's happening. I don't know how to fix that. But I do know that means that Henrietta's gonna end up as a Gligar. If this doesn't fix itself. And then I'm gonna have 2 Gligars on my team. And obviously I'm gonna have to bench one of them. And it's not gonna be my starter! I failed in my duties. I'll be docked pay for this. Sucks to suck, man. Okay. And now, who is up here? Is it the Team Rocket Boss by any chance? No? Not seeing him. Okay. Well, I have several more tangents that I need to finish off. I would have end the episode here, but, like, I do have several more tangents that I need to finish off, so, I mean, I'll keep going for a little longer. I feel like the past few episodes have all been, like, pretty darn long. They've all been above 50 minutes, I think, and this one, by the looks of it, might be the same. I was expecting this one to be shorter. I was even, I'd say, looking for this one to be shorter. Wanting this one to be shorter. Because, I feel like shorter videos are just videos that people are more likely to watch, because obviously people have things to do with their lives, but, so I was hoping I could split up the 50-minute episodes with a rather short one, but it appears that there's going to be another 50-minute episode, the third 50-minute episode in a row, and you know what? The next one had better not be another 50-minute episode, if this one is a 50-minute episode, so, most excellent. This radio tower will fulfill our grand design. Anyway. So, as I was saying before I was interrupted by the randomizer not working as intended, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so basically I just, yeah, you heard what I said about, like, Tentacruel, and how I didn't intend for it, but I wasn't against it at all. In fact, I was happy about getting that Tentacruel at the end. And, yeah, right. Garchomp wasn't a problem. Cynthia's Garchomp went down so easy. 4 times super effective Ice Beam, didn't stand a chance. What actually was the big threat on her team was Spiritomb. She just kept switching it in, and it kept taking hits, and it was just too bulky. It just kept, she literally switched it in to take hits, and she was keeping all of her Pokemon alive on, like, low health, and then, like, they would get to low health, I would be about to kill her, then she swaps into Spiritomb. And it's like, Spiritomb takes the hit, like, it's no problem, then she swaps back into someone else, and, like, in the long run, not a good strategy for her, because then she just has tons of Pokemon on low health. But it was just really annoying to deal with that Spiritomb over and over again, and see it keep coming out, and keep taking hits, and then keep switching back out. Like, it was just really annoying. Like, that Spiritomb, by far, was on the screen the most time during my battle with Cynthia, because, like, legitimately, I killed every Pokemon on her team before I killed Spiritomb. Literally, she sent out Spiritomb. I think she sent out Spiritomb first. I could be wrong. Maybe that's not how the battle works, right? Maybe there's a certain Pokemon that she always sends out first, and it's not Spiritomb. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. But, she sent in Spiritomb when I had none of her Pokemon dead. And she sent out Spiritomb again, and she also sent out Spiritomb when I had every Pokemon but Spiritomb dead. This thing hung on while I killed everything else. It just took all the hits. It is crazy. It is crazy. I did not know Spiritomb was that bulky. All grand plans come with snags. Yeah, I had no idea Spiritomb was that bulky. It was taking hits while it would continue to take hits and survive, while it swapped into the hits of everything else, and everything on the team. Everything else on the team slowly died. I killed everything else, and Spiritomb, who had switched in to save all of them at one point, except Garchomp. Garchomp didn't have time to be saved. Garchomp was a one-hit KO. Garchomp could not be saved by Spiritomb switching in. Garchomp just went down. But, yeah, other than that, every other Pokemon besides Garchomp, and of course Spiritomb, she can't switch Spiritomb into Spiritomb. Every other Pokemon besides Garchomp and Spiritomb himself, she switched into Spiritomb at one point. And Spiritomb still ended up being the last Pokemon on her team when it took all those hits. It's crazy. Like, I don't know how that happened, and it was doing a decent amount of damage to me too. It would switch in, take a hit, Shadow Ball me, do like half my health with one Shadow Ball, and then just switch back out. And it's like, oh my gosh, this thing is so annoying, and putting in so much work. It's crazy. Garchomp was nothing. The real menace on her team was Spiritomb. I don't know why people don't talk about Spiritomb more often. That thing is the worst. Her Spiritomb is awful. Her Spiritomb is awful to deal with. Hate that thing. Her Garchomp, nothing. One Ice Beam takes it down easy. Spiritomb, that thing is painful to deal with. It has one weakness. It is one weakness, and in Gen 4 it had no weaknesses. So I'd imagine it was even harder to deal with in Gen 4. In Gen 8, it has one weakness. In Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, it has one weakness, and that's Fairy, and that is a type that was not even intended to be in Sinnoh. Sinnoh was introduced before Fairy was even introduced, so imagine how few Fairy types there are in Sinnoh. Spiritomb is essentially weak to nothing in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Even though Fairy type now exists, it's still essentially weak to nothing because Sinnoh wasn't built with Fairy type in mind, and it has very few Fairy type options. So Spiritomb essentially is still weak to nothing, as it was in the original game. And now, obviously, it's just better, because our entire team is better in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. So that Spiritomb is just a menace. That thing, Spiritomb, is freaking evil. That thing is so hard to deal with. Much harder to deal with than Garchomp, in my opinion. Do you honestly believe you can stop Team Rocket? Yes. I stopped Cynthia's freaking impossible to take down. I stopped Cynthia's bulky-ass Spiritomb. I can stop Team Rocket. I can stop this stupid, dumb criminal organization who freaking keeps a Pokemon that mimics voices right next to them while they say the password. Yes, I'm still on that. Yes, I still think it's stupid. I still think it is a shockingly stupid display of Team Rocket's incompetence. You plan to rescue the director? That won't be possible, because I'm going to beat you. Okay. And then throw me out, right? Right, that's what's gonna happen, you're gonna throw me out? Once you beat me? You're not just gonna say, ha! I beat you! Now you have to leave! Because again, then we're going down that lane of, like, that line of reasoning of, like, once you beat someone in a Pokemon battle, someone just makes up a lose condition, and then they're like, okay, sure. You beat me in a Pokemon battle! Now I have to tell you the password! You beat me in a Pokemon battle! Now I have to disband my criminal organization! You beat me in a Pokemon battle! Now I have to reveal where my secret object is! It's like, you don't. None of you have to do any of this. This was not a condition agreed upon prior to the battle, even. So, like, why do we feel that we have to do that? It doesn't make any sense. But anyway. So that tangent over about my Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl Water type only run. So then, as I was saying with Sinnoh, my first playthrough of Sinnoh was the Pokemon Diamond. Was my brief playing of Pokemon Diamond cut off by me saying this game cut off by a certain thing that happened that made me say this game sucks, I'm returning it, and returned it. And then Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl was the next playthrough I had of Sinnoh, the second one. Next time I played Sinnoh was Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, that playthrough, which I finished, actually, so that was the first time I finished playing Sinnoh. That's the first time I fully played through Sinnoh. And then I fully played through Sinnoh again. After that I started my third time playing Sinnoh, which I finished, which is another playthrough I finished, which was another playthrough of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, actually, which is a water type only run. And then the fourth time I played Sinnoh was something that I started was a playthrough that I obviously started after the Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl water type only run. But I have not gotten around to finishing it. And I have not gotten around to finishing it. It is a Pokemon Diamond playthrough. Just a normal Pokemon Diamond playthrough. So this time I'm gonna play through Pokemon Diamond, hopefully the entire way, and not have to just say midway through, and not have to say at a certain point, wow, this game sucks, I'm returning it, because I can't return it, because it's not a physical, it's not a physical game. So hopefully I will not have to at any point say, wow, this game sucks, I'm returning it, because I can't. So, hopefully this time, I do not run into errors that make me, again, unable to beat Pokemon Diamond. Hopefully this time I actually do play through Pokemon Diamond fully, because I've played through Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, at this point, fully twice. It's crazy that I've played through the remakes twice, but I haven't played through the actual game fully before. Played through the remakes fully twice, haven't played through the actual original game fully even once. So, I do want to do that. I do want to finish that playthrough, definitely. I want to finish most playthroughs of games I start, but that one, absolutely. That one, I'm I very much want to finish. No! Unbelievable! Yeah, I know. I want to play a game. I want to finish a playthrough of a game that I said sucks and returned it to GameStop immediately after I bought it. But it's true. Sometimes your mind changes on things. You change your mind on certain things, and sometimes certain errors that happened when you were young, when you bought the game from GameStop, don't happen again when you play it when you're older, because then you are less dumb and stupid, and you also have more knowledge going into it, so that you can avoid that error from happening again. Avoid that error from happening again does not sound like correct grammar, but at this point I am so, I've been commentating for so long that my brain is kind of mush, so I think that is honestly one of the more logical mistakes I could have made when speaking. I don't believe it! I was beaten! Yes. Sucks to suck, man. Anyway, did I beat you? Did I talk to you? Do you honestly believe you can stop the rocket? Yeah, and then I talked to you, right? I don't believe it, I was beaten? Yeah, I don't believe it, I was beaten. Perfect. Okay, so then that's that. I continue going up then, because I've fought every trainer in this room, and I see no items for me to pick up. There's an invisible wall here that I cannot seem to walk through. That's interesting. And now we're going to see the director here. You came to rescue me? Yes. Is that what you were expecting? Wrong! I'm an imposter. I pretended to be the real thing to prepare for our takeover. Do you want to know where we hid the real director? Sure, I'll tell you, but only if you can beat me. Okay, so now we gotta beat this guy who we thought was the director, but it's not actually, and it's this guy again, Writer Jimmy, he's called this time, but it's the same sprite, so I'm gonna assume it's the same guy. Last time he was Writer someone else, some other writer, but now he's Writer Jimmy. Last time he was a female writer, he was like, well, he had a female name. It was like Writer Cammy or something. Something like that. I think it had an A and a Y in it, so I think, but I don't think it was Cammy. Or, well, Cammy could be spelled with an I-E, so I guess it had an A and an E sound in it, but I don't think it was Cammy. It was some other writer though, definitely. It was definitely some other type of writer. Interesting that seems to be the same trainer, but he has a different name this time. Does it re-randomize their name for every time you fight them? I mean, I guess so. Technically, in the code of the game, that's a separate trainer, right? That would make sense, yeah. But, yeah. What got me started on this whole tangent, this whole, like, playthroughs of Sinnoh tangent, which got me started on this whole, returning Pokemon Diamond to GameStop tangent, which got me started on this whole, returning games to GameStop tangent, which got me started on this whole, I've told the story before tangent, so go to a different video tangent. Got me started on all those tangents. Back to the main tangent that I was on, which was how in most games, in most Pokemon games, the Master Ball is given to you by a person. So in Gen 1 it is given to you by Giovanni. After you... No, it is not given to you by Giovanni, I'm stupid. It is given to you by, my brain is mush! It is given to you by, the director. Once you save him from Team Rocket, save him from Giovanni. Not given to you by Giovanni, that's silly. No, it's given to you by the director once you save him from Team Rocket. In this game, it's given to you by Professor Elm, assuming that it's the same as Heart Gold and Soul Silver. In, Sinnoh, it's given to you by, again, as I said, I don't know, I don't recall. For some reason, that detail is eluding me. I can't think of it, I can't think of when you get it and who you get it from at the moment, for whatever reason. In Gen 5, in Black and White, I don't know when you get the Master Ball, actually, but I know in Black 2, White 2, you get... I think you get 2 in Black 2, White 2. I think you get 2 Master Balls in Black 2, White 2, actually. But and so I don't know how you get both of them, but I do know you get one of them in Mistralton City from Professor Juniper. In Gen 6, you get the Master Ball at the Pokeball Factory from the director of that place. It's a different director, who you saved from a different evil team, which was Team Flare this time. And then in Sun and Moon... Oh gosh. been forever since I've played it, since I've seen a full playthrough of Sun and Moon. And I've never done a full playthrough of Sun and Moon myself, so... When do you get the Master Ball in Sun and Moon? Do you get a Master Ball? You certainly must get a Master Ball in Sun and Moon. I don't remember when it is, so that's, add that to the list. Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, also Sun and Moon. I don't know in either of those games where you actually get the Master Ball. Actually, where you get the Master Ball, I don't know in either of those games. Gen 8, Sword and Shield, you get it from... Well, first of all, you get it from the Roto-Loto. That's one way to get it. But the way you're supposed to get it is, I'm blanking. Why am I blanking? Where do you get the Master Ball in Sword and Shield? Oh gosh. That's so weird that I'm blanking. Again, I don't know, and I know that I'm gonna look at it, I'm gonna think about it later. In fact, once I stop recording this, my brother is gonna probably tell me, you get it here, because he loves correcting me after I finish recording. And then I'm gonna be like, dang it, I knew that! Why didn't I remember that when I was recording? But, like, it's in there, it's in my brain, it's absolutely something that's in my brain. I just don't remember where you get it, for whatever reason. I can't bring that, it's information that's in my brain. Somewhere deep inside of my brain, there is the information of where you get Master Ball and Pokemon Sword and Shield. But I just can't dig it up for some reason. I can't dig it out of my brain. It won't come to the surface. So I can't recall. And then in Scarlet and Violet, oh my gosh, I haven't the slightest idea. I feel like I've played Scarlet and Violet more recently than Sword and Shield. Well, I've played at least the main events of Scarlet and Violet more recently than Sword and Shield. Obviously, I've played Sword and Shield more recently because I've been doing like Crown Tundra stuff lately. But in terms of like the actual plot of the games, 69, nice. I've been playing. I definitely played through Scarlet and Violet like in terms of like the plot itself. I played through the entire plot more recently. So, because last time I did like a full playthrough of Sword and Shield was a long time ago. I mean, the Nuzlocke I did of it a while ago was kind of a full playthrough, but even that, I did not win that. I died, I lost it at Victory Road, so technically that wasn't a full playthrough, it was just like most of the game. So therefore the last time I did an actual full playthrough of Sword and Shield was when the game came out. But I should be able to remember, like, when I got the Master Ball in, I should be able to remember, like, the Master Ball... I should be able to remember, like, at least when I got the Master Ball in the Nuzlocke, right? Because that was a little bit more recent. I should be able to remember off of that, assuming that I actually got the Master Ball, and that maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't get that far. Maybe you get the Master Ball after Victory Road. Maybe you get the Master Ball, like, after you fight Chairman Rose. I don't remember. That makes sense. It usually is given to you by, like, rich people who have status. Chairman Rose is rich and has status, so I'd imagine he would have a Master Ball. And he does, like, after you beat him, he is like, wow, I forgot how much fun Pokemon battles are, so it would make sense why he would, like, reward you with a Master Ball for fighting him. But it doesn't make sense from a story perspective, because he just said, because, like, after you beat him, he's like, you're too late. It's too late to stop Eternatus. There's nothing you can do. Which wouldn't make much sense if he gave you a if he gave you a Pokeball that could catch any Pokemon, because then obviously there's something you could do. You could catch it. So then that dialogue wouldn't make sense if he gave you a Master Ball, so I don't think he does. He seems like the kind of person who would give you a Master Ball, but I don't think he is the person who gives you that Master Ball in that game. But yeah, that's crazy to me that 3 games in a row I can't remember where you get the Master Ball from. I can't remember in 3 generations in a row, I can't remember. I can't remember in Gen 7 where you get the Master Ball, I can't remember in Gen 8 where you get the Master Ball, I can't remember in Gen 9 where you get the Master Ball. I feel like out of all of those, Gen 9 is the one where I'm closest to reaching a conclusion. I could probably, if I thought about it a decent amount, I could probably get there. Gen 7, I think there's literally no chance I could tell you when you get the Master Ball. Just because I have so little experience with the plot of that game. It's crazy. Now that I think about it, that might be like my worst gen in terms of knowledge. Like, I do not know Gen 7. And, like, if I'm saying it's my worst game in terms of knowledge, and I've been saying like, this entire playthrough that I do not know Gen 2, then you know it's bad. With how much I believe I don't know Gen 2, and me saying, with how much I believe I don't know Gen 2, me saying that Gen 7 is the one I probably know the least, is like, because of that, you know it's bad, you know? Like, you know I don't know Gen 7. If I'm saying, after saying this entire playthrough that I don't know Gen 2, that Gen 7 is probably my worst gen in terms of knowledge, then you know Gen 7's bad. You know I do not know that gen. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Gen 7 is just entirely a blur to me, and maybe it's just because I've been commentating too long, but I just can't recall very much about Gen 7 at all. Obviously I know like basic plot beats, but like in terms of like, it definitely feels like I know the least about, I remember the least about it. Which I guess is kind of weird to me, I think. Because I feel like when Gen 7 came out, I really liked Gen 7. So you'd think I would commit more of it to memory, but like I guess as time has gone on, I've seen less and less of it, especially because PokeTubers don't tend to play it because Gen 7's freaking long, and the pacing is known for being terrible and boring, and it's known for being a very slow game. So like PokeTubers don't really play it all that much, so I haven't seen a lot of content on it, and therefore I'm sort of, when it comes to like the events of Gen 7 playing out in my head, I'm sort of like thinking back to when I first saw YouTubers playing it back in like 2016 is when it came out, right? And like that's a long time ago. That is like a long time to be reaching back into my brain, being like, what was the plot of this game? How does this game go again? Where do you get the Master Ball? It's like, that's a long while to reach back. It's a long time to just like reach back in your memory. So yeah, in a sense, it surprises me that I don't know, that I'm so like not knowing Gen 7 as much as I am, because I really loved the game when it first came out. But on the other hand, it also does kind of make sense because I haven't watched a lot of playthroughs of it since it came out, so yeah. Gen 7, I'm really weak with knowledge on Gen 7 for some reason. I mean, I shouldn't say for some reason, I just stated a reason. But yeah, I guess I never really thought about it before, but that is probably my weakest gen in terms of knowledge. Okay, I'll tell you where he is. Where who is? I'm sorry, I got lost in the Pokemon Generation Master Ball talk thing. I forgot what we're talking about. We stashed the real director in the underground warehouse. It's at the far end of the underground. But I doubt you'll get that far. See the basement key. Okay, thank you. So now we get to go save the director. Yay. Now, what's he gonna do? He's just gonna wait around here? Continue to pretend to be the director? Stash the real director? Yeah, he's just chilling. He's gonna be the director for a while. Okay. Cool, man. You do you. Anything to, like, read in here, or interact with, or... Oh! 5th floor, fifth floor, director's office. Okay. Cool. Did not realize there were just signs around saying where to... See, this is weird. Like, why is there just, like, a wall that I cannot pass here? I mean, I get that there's, like, a computer that's, like, taking up, part of a tile, but it still looks like I should be able to walk behind that, you know? Like, it does not look like I should be blocked here, you know? This looks incorrect, and I get that, like, from a tile perspective, yeah, the computer is taking up this tile, but it doesn't look like it's taking up much of this tile at all, so it just looks weird that I'm walking into an invisible wall here. It just looks like I'm walking into an invisible wall here. It doesn't look like I'm walking into the computer at all, because frankly, I'm not. That model is not anywhere near where I'm walking, but apparently I'm still bumping into it. Whatever. Yeah, I didn't realize there were signs on every floor. I'm wondering if any of these signs say anything interesting. They probably don't, but I'm in the business of reading dialogue in this game, so might as well. Fourth floor, production. Okay, so apparently they produce things here. I'm guessing they produce radio broadcast, because this is a radio station. Pokemon music with host DJ Ben. DJ Ben's a fire name. Can't believe they hired someone named Ben and said, you're the DJ, you're DJ Ben. That's crazy. What a basic name for a DJ. Third floor personnel. So this is where all the personnel are. Whatever that means. But yeah, what is this? It's the card key slot. Okay, so this is still locked. So yeah, basically, as I've been saying, like, you know, in most of the games, you just give, you were just given the Master Ball by a person, but Gen 3 is weird because you just pick up the Master Ball as, like, a field item. But what's interesting is that, like, and a field item being, like, an item that's, like, in a Pokeball. You know, like, in a Pokeball on the ground. But what's interesting is that, like, in Gen 3 Randomizer, the Master Ball doesn't get randomized. So it's weird that it's like a field item, like you pick it up off the ground as like a Pokeball off the ground, and yet, unlike all the other things that you pick up as Pokeballs off the ground, it's not randomized into a different thing. It's the only field item, it's seemingly a field item that is unrandomized, even though field items are supposed to be randomized. It's interesting. Second floor sales, and it's great. Of course, that's amazing. That Professor Oak's Pokemon Talk, the hottest show on the air. Second floor sales. Of course, that's very fortunate that, like, the Master Ball doesn't get randomized into something else, because then it would be really, like, much more difficult than intended to catch the Legendary in that game, in a randomizer. Lucky Channel. Win with Pokemon ID numbers. Trade your Pokemon to collect different ID numbers. Well, that's interesting, because you see that in, like, future games with, like, the Roto Loto. It's crazy that traces back so far. Like, you know? That, like, you can trade Pokemon, there's, like, a lottery system, and you can trade Pokemon in order to get, like, other trainer IDs for a better chance to win a prize. It's crazy, because that's, like, exactly what Roto Loto is, and Roto Loto is something that's in a Pokemon game that's, like, 20-something years later. I don't think it's 20-something years later. Actually, that's crazy to think about how much time has passed since Sword and Shield came out. I feel like that game is still, like, pretty new. Crazy to think about, in general, just how old the Switch is. Like, Super Mario Odyssey is, like, what? 8 years old? Coming up on 8 years old? That's wacky. Seems like just a couple years ago that, like, the Switch was first coming out, and, Super Mario Odyssey was the hot new 3D Mario game. And now the Switch 2 is coming out, and Super Mario Odyssey is somehow still the hot new 3D Mario game, because we're still not making a new one. I mean, Bowser's Fury was kind of a new 3D Mario game, but it was also just sort of an add-on to an old 3D Mario game, so, I don't know how much of a new 3D Mario game that actually was, but, anyway, I suppose I'll end off the episode here. I got done talking about everything I want to talk about, right? I mean, the reason why I started the whole, like, conversation, all those rants was because of, like, the main rant, which I think was the main rant, about, like, in Gen 3, for whatever reason, the field item that is the Master Ball does not get randomized, and I think, like, the other field items do, and I think I finished that with that topic. Yeah, thank goodness that, it does not end up getting randomized, because then it would be much harder than intended to get the Legendary in a randomizer. Much harder than the creators of the game intended to get the Legendary if you randomize it, I mean. Because obviously they expected, when they gave you the Master Ball, for you to just use that, so it wouldn't be difficult at all. It's not a challenge at all, really. They didn't expect they didn't expect it to be a challenge to get the Legendary at all. They just expected you to, like, use the Master Ball on Groudon or Kyogre or Rayquaza, depending on, like, which Gen 3 game you're playing, right? They just expected you to use it on, like, the box art Legendary. But as it turns out, obviously in a randomizer, if they did randomize that field item, it would not be that easy. In fact, it would be very difficult, because then you don't have the Master Ball, and you have to just deal with the low catch rates of those Legendaries. So yeah, it's a good thing that they do not randomize the Master Ball. It's the one field item in the game. I don't know why, I don't know how they did that. I mean, I'd imagine it's, like, not that hard to code, but I'm glad they had the foresight to do it. because, or maybe they didn't. Maybe when the original Pokemon Universal Pokemon Randomizer came out, that wasn't a thing, and then people were like complaining because the Master Ball was getting randomized, so they had to updated it to fix it, to like change it so it doesn't get randomized. So maybe it wasn't originally a thing with the Universal Pokemon Randomizer. Maybe they added it later because of complaints. But if they had the foresight to make it not randomized, that's amazing. That's great that they had that foresight. That's impressive. And then if they didn't, then it's just great that they added it. It's great that they heard people's complaints and they decided, like, yeah, you know what, that is unfair that this is the only game where you don't get given a Master Ball if you randomize it. So, yeah. Either way, just really cool that they did that and really helpful. Especially in a Nuzlocke where, like, a legendary encounter is very important. A legendary encounter is, like, even more important than usual, especially so because, like, you gotta work with what you, like, the best you can. You gotta have, like, the best you can, you know? It's not like in a normal playthrough where you can afford to, like, make a team, like, it's, like, sort of what you want. In a Nuzlocke, you have to, like, get the best stuff, you know? Like, there is room, obviously, to make the team your own, but not as much as there is in, like, a normal playthrough, where permadeath is not a threat. In a Nuzlocke, you always have to watch out for that looming threat of permadeath, which means you in general just have to be aiming for better Pokemon. But anyway, so that's why, especially in a Nuzlocke, the legendary is important, and so that's why it's especially good that they made sure that you still get the Master Ball, even though other field items are randomized. But anyway, I'm gonna just read off what Veronica has to say, and then we'll end off the episode. Alex, good morning. It's me, Veronica. How are you doing? My Clefairy's looking awesome. I wish I could show you. Hey, listen, I almost caught Machamp the other day. Oh, it was so close too. See you later. Click. Okay. And now she hangs up, and now we hang up this episode. Thank you all so much for watching EVClaim. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. This is Alex Espion, signing off.